All right, y'all. So Vogue just dropped yesterday, the 29th of August, and I'm just here to say that fall is looking pretty good for Vogue. So I'm not going to do too much of an introduction because we're going to get straight on into this fall drop. But before I get started, I want to say September is National Sewing Month. So celebrate National Sewing Month all month long. Also, this ends September the 2nd. It is the patterns starting at $3.99. So just so you know, in regards to the sale that's going on right now, before I get started in this one, National Sewing Month, crafting history with every stitches. Basically, go to the sale tab, hit the sales. You want to go to the details. So first things first is this doesn't require a promo code, but it's new look patterns for $3.99. Then McCall's and Butterick patterns are $4.99. Now, I'm just going to say, I think during my last video, someone who has power in simplicity.com decided that no one is going to be buying new look patterns at $6.99. Okay, when we all know new look patterns has been on sale for $1.99, $2.99, $3.99 when Joanne was in play. Right now, this is your time to go to simplicity.com and buy up those new patterns for $3.99 because they're on sale. $3.99 is a good price for new look. $6.99 is not. So go over. Let's thank our good friends at simplicity.com for finally making them $3.99. You're welcome. Now, on this note, before I get into Vogue, McCall's and Butterick patterns are $4.99. Simplicity is not on sale. Okay. Once again, Simplicity, New Look, Vogue, and Berta patterns are not on sale. For the last time for the people in the back, okay, that's just listening. Just listen. Simplicity, Vogue, New Look, and Berta patterns are not on sale on this one. Okay? All right. So now that I shared all of the details of the patterns, pattern sell, I should say. Let's go ahead, okay, and dive into the fall drop. All right. So with the fall drop, they did not do bad. Okay. They did not do bad at all. So we got coats. We have, we got lots of coats. We got dresses. We got a whole bunch of stuff. All right. So let's just dive right on in. So it's 22 patterns, just to give you that. It is a total of 22 patterns, just to kind of give you a glance at what we're going to be looking at right here. It's 22 patterns. You can definitely follow along with me on simplicity.com. I am definitely sharing my screen today simply because I had a huge week, okay? And I am tired. Your girl tired, but we go get this together and we go have lots of energy today, okay, on this video, unlike my last one when I did the pattern drop. So let's go ahead, dive into the first one. The first one is Vogue 2125. Now this one is a Mrs. and Mrs. Petite double-breasted coat dress. All right. So this one features collars, princess seams, shoulder pads, refined silhouette. It also has pleated full skirt, a dramatic high-low hem, and side seam pockets for functionality. Okay. Now with this one, what the model is wearing is a silk wool blend in cream, which is really, really nice. I like that. Some of the fabric options are your crepes, your satin, your shantung. You're also going to need some lining fabric for this one, interfacing as well. In terms of sizing, this is an easy to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, it's 4 to 12 on the first pattern envelope and 12 to 20 on the second pattern envelope. I like this one. I like the fact that, first of all, I like a coat dress. All right. Now, I'm going to be 100% honest that I would potentially buy this one for like a good, special occasion. I don't particularly like the high-low hem, if I'm being honest with myself. But this one would definitely just be like for something that I would have that special occasion. All right. So looking at the notions on the back of the pattern envelope for this one, you will need 3 7/8" covered buttons, I should say, and then optional 1/2" shoulder pads. You're also going to need a pair of sleeve headings or 1 1/2 inch by 10-inch poly fleece remnant. That basically means you would basically use some poly fleece as a remnant. I have a video where I shared how to make a sleeve head. That way your shoulder just not collapsing on you. You would just do a square, or I should say a rectangle, 10 inches long by 1 1/2 inches wide. All right. So that's how you would do that. But once again, this pattern is 21-25. I'm on the fence with this one, just to be 100% honest with you. But I do like the style lines as well. Now, y'all know, I'm just going to be me. And y'all know, I know that this pattern reminds me of another pattern. So the first pattern that it reminds me of is, of course, Vogue 1752. Now, Vogue 1752 is another Mrs. Outerwear or jacket. So this one is a little different, just to be honest with you. Now, I'm just going to say get a notebook if you're interested in any of the patterns that I share that are similar, because some of them could be out of print. Definitely check simplicity.com first, and then go over to Amazon, eBay, or Etsy, our good friends. But this one is pretty much a fitted line coat. It has the extended shoulders, shoulder pads, two-piece sleeves with the bias cuts. It also have decorative flaps, side seam pockets, and a stitch hems for this one as well. It's Vogue 1752, just for the people who did not hear me the first time. 1752. Some of the pattern sizes for this one. Now, for this one on Amazon.com, the size is 16-24 on this coat, just to give you that for reference. It also reminds me of another pattern, and you probably could find this one on simplicity.com. It's very similar. If you already have it in your stash, it would be even better. All right. So this one is Vogue 1837. I have this one in my stash. That's why I'm on the fence with Vogue 21-25. This one right here, I love this coat. I just haven't got around to it. Plus, I live in Florida, so it's like, why am I buying coats? Because I like them. That's why. Okay. Back to this one. This is the lined double-breasted jacket as well. It's semi-fitted at the bust. It has the collar. It has the collar band. It has the princess seam. It has raglan sleeves, side seam pockets, a flare back, lower back for sure. I love the style of this coat. All right. Now, if I get around to it, because some of the fabric suggestion for this one is wool jacquard. I have jacquard in my stash. I would not do this in a denim as suggested if I was to do this one. So yeah, I thought this one was cute, but it also reminds me of one more pattern, just to give you this one. It also reminds me of Vogue 1971. And on 1971, this is another one. Now, this one is showing from eBay UK, but you could definitely change the UK. No shade to the UK. I love my UK girlies. Come on, shells, come through for us for the UK. But I'm just saying that you could change it from co.uk to .com and you will be good. Same thing, okay? But anyways, back to 1971. With this one, it is very similar when you have that notch collar right there. I love this one, y'all. I love this one too. I like what the model is wearing here. I just thought that it was very similar to it. Not exactly the same, but once again, it's very similar because it does feature that line fitted coat. It has the double breasted, have the button in the front, or you can make snaps on it. It has the princess seam. It has the shoulder pads. That's optional if you want to do that. Now with this one, you can use a couple of different fabrics for this one. If you choose to, you can use the flannel, you can use gabardine, you can use tweed. So lots of different fabrics. You do not have to use wool, but wool would be suitable for a jacket. Okay, so I just want to give you that as well. But let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is, of course, all of these are Vogue, so we're just going to tell the number. It's 21-26. And this one is a jacket and sheath dress, all right? So it is a two-piece ensemble with this pattern. It's fully lined, an underlined sheath dress, and loose fitting jacket. So the jacket features long two-piece sleeves, a collar with the neckband. It also features a front button closure with bias loops. The sheath dress is fitted and includes an invisible back zipper, two hook and eye closure, and classic shaping. All right, for this one. Now, some of the fabric suggestion for this one also includes like your brocade. I'm sorry, not your brocade. Your jacquard, your linen blend, your tweed, your wool crepe, just to name a few. You will need some organza for underlining. For the lining, you can use your mousse, silky fabrics. I'm going to say China silk or any type of silky fabric. You will need some interfacing for this one as well. In terms of the notion for the jacket, you're going to need 3/5/8" covered buttons. So make sure you have a covered button, little handy dandy machine. It's easy to do. Trust me when I say that. And then for the dress, you're going to need a 22-inch invisible zipper just to give you that. But just to give you some of the pictures, I know I kind of ran through it very quickly. So just to give you some of the pictures, this is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, it's 4-12 on the first pattern envelope and 14-22 on the second pattern envelope. So just to kind of give you some of the pictures that I see. So for this one, I actually like this one for sure. Now, I am going to pick this one up, but I could see a couple of things that I would do. I would definitely lengthen the dress, okay? It is very short, and because I am short, okay, I don't know how tall the model is wearing, but if I was to wear this to work, I would definitely have to lengthen it. I can see a couple of hacks of adding sleeve. I am not a girly who loves sleeveless dresses, so I will probably either add a split sleeve or a balloon sleeve or a bishop sleeve, something. There is a pattern where I think it's Simplicity 80. I don't remember the number and I don't want to embarrass myself right now, which I don't care about embarrassing myself, but I will put the link to the pattern that I'm thinking about. That's a slit sleeve, or not a slit sleeve, but a sleeve pattern. If you have it, you could definitely add to it and just pick up that Simplicity pattern. I will put that pattern in the description box below. Open the description box below, then you will see sleeve pattern, okay, in the description box below. All right, but once again, this pattern is Vogue 2126. Now, of course, this pattern reminds me of another pattern. Yes, it is a vintage pattern, same pattern to be exact. And this one is, of course, a 1960s vintage pattern of Vogue 1714, which is basically a suit pattern or a jacket and skirt pattern. Very, very similar. Now, for my girlies that love vintage patterns, you guys may already have this pattern. So Vogue decided to reissue this pattern and pull it from the archive. Now, I'm saying this is very similar. It is not the exact same pattern. So let me get that straight, simply because this is a jacket and a skirt. This is not a dress, okay? Jacket and skirt, very similar, but it is not the same pattern, okay? Just so we are very, very clear, it is from the 1960s. If you are interested in this pattern, you could definitely go to Etsy and purchase this Vogue pattern. Just giving you some options, okay? But once again, this pattern right here is 1714. That's up on the screen right now. And the pattern that I just disclosed to you is Vogue, the new one, Vogue 2126. Let's move over to the next pattern, Vogue 2127. Now this one is a two-piece dress. This one includes a loose-fitting blouse and a pull-on tiered maxi skirt. The blouse features a long raglan sleeve with button cuffs, a shaped hem, and two stylish variations, okay? So view A features a pussycat bow neckline, and view B has a standing collar and tie and purchase trim right there. The skirt is definitely fully lined and offers the trim variations as you see in view B. Now, some of the fabric options are your charmeuse, your crepe de chine, your georgette, lawn, just to name a few. Interfacing you're going to need for both view A and view B, some lining as well for the skirt, which is view C and view D. This is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, it's two pattern envelopes, 6-14 and 16-24 on the second pattern envelope for that matter, okay? So I like this one. This is really gorgeous. And I love this fabric. This fabric that they use is very, very gorgeous. Let's talk about the notions that you're going to need for this pattern. So if you are doing view A, the top, it is 5/8 inch covered buttons. So one thing that I have noticed so far in the last couple of patterns that I showed you, everything is covered buttons for this one. So if you do not have a covered button kit, I advise you to get one. Now you don't have to do cover buttons. You can do regular buttons. You know, you don't have to do covered buttons, but you can do regular buttons as well if you do not have the cover button little gadget. All right. Now, if you're doing view B, just make sure you have some lace trim for that one as well, and some elastic for the skirt. All right. So that's just an option that I am giving you there. But once again, this is 21/27. Let's move over to the next pattern. Next up is 21/28. And this one's basically a knit dress with some ruching going on at the side and a little bit at the neck. It has a sleeve variation. You can either do it in a long sleeve or you can leave it sleeveless. This is a easy to sew pattern, 2 pattern envelopes, 8/16 and 18/26 on the second pattern envelope. Let's get into the details. So this one is a floor length dress pattern. It features a modern funnel neckline, an elegant gathers at the neckline and the waist. It has an invisible zipper in the back. View B includes the gather sleeves for added volume and style for sure. Now this dress, as it states, is perfect for evening wear, formal occasion, and of course day wear. So in the photo, what you are seeing, they use some jersey knit. So view A is in the emerald green. View B is more so like a burgundy for that. Some of the fabric options for this one is cotton knits, interlock, jersey, just to name a few for that one. Now, I am definitely picking this pattern up. I feel like the dress is a little too long. I will make that adjustment to about the knees because I don't want to be tripping over dresses. But I feel like it is really, really cute. I would be interested to do view A, but make it short sleeves, okay? Or 3/4 length sleeves. That is just what I feel that I would do, but I think that this is a gorgeous dress, and once again, it is easy to sew. Okay? You're welcome. All right, let's go ahead and get into the next pattern. This one didn't remind me of anything that I could think of at the moment, but if any of these patterns that I'm showing you remind you of anything, definitely comment in the comment section below and let me know, and I will definitely update that description box. All right. Next pattern, Vogue 21/29. Now, this pattern is a bias cut full length dress. It is by Tom and Linda Platt. All right. Now, this is an A-line dress. It features like a cut on. The pattern is cut on the bias for a flattering drape and pullover ease. Now, I like that drape in the back. You know, that drape is gorgeous in the back. The design includes a deep cowl back, a waist-length dome sleeves, and front and back waist seams for shaping. Now, it's partially lined, which adds that comfort and structure. It's great for evening wear or special occasion, and I would use this as special occasion. Y'all know I have an anniversary coming up, 20 years. This would be great. Okay, don't y'all think so? This would be great to use. And I definitely like the fuchsia that they are using. That satin fuchsia is amazing. I think we always gravitate towards the Christmas time into either like a red or a black or a gold. But I think this fuchsia color is amazing on the model, okay? Now, some of the fabric options for this one are your charmeuse, your hammered satin. I have never heard of that, but something new to me, and it may be something new to you. Who knows? Silk crepe. You're also going to need some lining fabrics like your crepe back satin. That would be a good fabric to use. Crepe back satin, yes. Your interfacing, like your lightweight fusible interfacing for sure. It is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, 2 pattern envelopes, you have your 4/12 and 12/20 on that second pattern envelope. This is the line art, and I love it, y'all. I love it. All right. So just to give you some of the, those pictures for sure. I like this. I love how the model looks on this one, y'all. This is amazing. But let's get into the notions. The only thing you're gonna need is 2 snaps. So this is a no notion pattern. It's been a while since I said that, but this is a no notion pattern. And another thing I want to mention, if you look at the finished garment measurement, it goes from a hip of a 39 to a 52. So, very size inclusive here, okay? Very size inclusive, so I like that as well. But once again, this is 21.29. Let's move over to the next pattern, 21.30, another pattern that I will be picking up because, this one shoulder dress is sexy. Okay, Tom and Linda, play. I'm doing it for the Vogue this year. Okay, I got you. I got you. This is gorgeous. All right, so let's get into the pattern. First off, this is an advanced to sew pattern, 2 pattern envelopes, 4 to 12 and 14 to 22. So it is a one shoulder bias cut A-line dress pattern, fully lined. It's a pull on over your head style pattern. It has a dramatic cascade front panel with an open detail and contrast lining for visual impact. All right, so it has that one shoulder. I love it. So it looks like it was cut on the bias. It does say a bias cut A-line skirt. Duh, Rochelle. But anyway, it's good for weddings, galas, formal nighttime, night outs. So it's good for that. Here's the line art if you are interested in that line art for sure. I love this. And I love that they use green for the models. I think it's gorgeous. Yeah, honey is wearing that dress. Okay, she look gorgeous in this dress. But let's get into the notions. So in terms of the notions, the only thing you're going to need is satin ribbon for the hanging strap. So once again, this is a no notion pattern, y'all. Like 2 in the book for Vogue. No notions? Come on, Vogue, y'all. Come on. Tom and Linda, thank you for the no notion patterns because the girlies be wanting some no notion patterns. And with Joann's being closed, we're very limited on these notions, okay? Thank you. I appreciate you, Tom and Linda Platt. If y'all know them, send them a thank you letter from all of us, all right? Moving over to the next pattern, 2131. Now, this is a strapless gown, okay? And the sizing, 2 pattern envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on this pattern envelope. It is an advanced to sew pattern. Now, this one right here is an elegant strapless gown pattern. It features pleated. It's pleated. It has a draped fold bodice. It has fully interfaced built-in foundation for structure and support. It also has like the voluminous blustered skirt that holds its shape with knit stiffening. They say a lot of words for no reason. But anyway, yeah, it has an invisible back zipper. So all in all, right, it's good for occasion. It has the couture style sewing for sure. Just to name a few. We're going through this together, y'all. I did not look at this before I sat down. But anyway, fabric options. All right. So some of the fabric options for this one would be your satin, your shantung, your taffeta, just to name a few. You're going to need some lining fabric and some underlining fabric as well. You're going to need some medium weight sew and interfacing for the stiffening. Yeah, you're going to need that. You're going to need some netting. You're going to need a lot of different things for this pattern. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to skip this pattern for sure because I don't have anywhere that I'm going to wear it to, just to be 100% honest, but you're going to need a lot of things. And this pattern may be for you. Some of the notions you're going to need is a 14-inch invisible zipper. You're going to need some boning. You're going to need some gripper tape. You're going to need some ribbons and twill tape, just to name a few on this one. Yeah, this one is going to be a definitely pass for me, but I find this one to be really, really cute. It's just not for me, okay? But it may be for you. Definitely 2131. Moving over to the next pattern, 2132. Y'all know this reminds me of another pattern, and we're going to get there, okay? Now, this one is a Mrs. Full Length Cape and Dress pattern with the stash. All right, so this pattern, 2 pattern envelopes, 8 to 16, and then 18 to 26 on that second pattern envelope. Now, this one reminds me, we'll get there, but let me just tell you what the pattern is. It's basically a lined cape pattern like we have seen before. It has the hidden hook and eye closure. It features that trim. It has paired with a close-fitting line sheath dress underneath, as you see in view B. The dress features an invisible side zipper, back fin, and thread loops for contrast stash. Now, it also features different cup sizes, just so you know that. Now, in the photo, the model is wearing a polyester micro velvet and polyester satin for that bow, as you see right here. So this is a poly satin, the bow, and then the velvet is what the model is wearing for the dress and the cape. Super cute, by the way. It is an advanced sew pattern. In terms of fabric, you can use crepe, jacquard, satin, velvet, just to name a few there. You're going to need some lining fabric, whether it's your Shein Muse or your silk fabric. Interfacing, you're going to need some medium weight sew-in fabric, okay? Now, I am definitely picking up this pattern, okay? I do have some velvet in my stash. Now, I'm not interested in the cape. I don't know where the heck I would wear this cape to, but I do like the dress. Now, I'm go retract what I said. I am definitely picking up this pattern. I am definitely leaving this pattern on the shelf. I feel that it's cute, but I already have the other pattern that I'm getting ready to show you, all right? But first, let's talk about the notions of this pattern. The notions. For view A, the cape, you're just going to need 4 hook and eye closures, okay? Which is a no-notion portion of that piece, right? View B, the only thing you're going to need is a 14-inch invisible zipper and 1 hook and eye closure. Now, I did say that this pattern reminds me of another pattern, and you guys know what it is. Vogue 1982. The only difference is that this one does not have a bow, okay? And this one is definitely lined, and this one is a long sleeve instead of a short sleeve. However, I think if you have this one, you really don't need this one, okay? You do. You do your research and your assessment of the pattern. Now, I think for this one is not, I think this one, you have to sew the cape. It is not detachable, meaning that 2 different things. I think the cape is all one. Like, it actually says a lined cape dress. So now it makes me think like, yo, I don't want the whole cape situation. It's cute, but I think I want to give myself option of having the cape or taking it off. So I would definitely be picking up 2132 now that I'm thinking about it. All right. But if you do not have 1982, which is this pattern right here, you may want to consider 2132 as well. All right. But once again, this pattern is 2132. Once again, 2132. Let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Next up is 2133, and this pattern is a short cape and fitted dress with detachable bow. I love how they styled this model with the bow in different places. I love that. I love the short cape as well. But let's get into the description of this pattern. This pattern includes a dramatic oversized cape with a front zipper and a fitted dress with princess seams, boning for structure, front slit, and a back zipper closure. Now, it also features a detachable bow, which adds an elegant touch, perfect for the evening wear or bold fashion statement. Now, the fabric used in the photo that the model is wearing is brocade and velvet for that black bow. All right. Some of the fabric options are your brocade, which I have in my stash, by the way. Cotton blends, which I would not suggest, but it may be cute. All right. Jacquard and wool blends, just to name a few. The contrast for the view B, which is the cape, you can use satin or velvet. For the lining, you will need some lining fabric. You will need some interfacing. For C, view C, which is the bow, you're going to need some netting or organza as you're interfacing. Make sure you check out the back of the pattern envelope to get more information on what you will need in terms of your fabrics as well as your notions. Okay. So speaking of notions, let's go ahead and get into the notions that you're going to need for this pattern. Now, for view A and view B, that's the dress and the cape, you're going to need a 2-way separating zipper. Once again, a 2-way separating zipper. That means there's 2, zipper pulls, okay? You got me. Okay. View A, you're going to also need some boning for the structure at the bust, okay, and some gripper tape. That's what you're going to need for view A. You're also going to need some ribbon or twill tape, and that's for the hanging loops and the straps, okay? Now, view C, which is the bow, you're going to need a bar pin, okay? Read the back of the envelope if you decide to get this pattern. This is an advanced to sew pattern. So I would definitely say if you're a beginner, I'm not saying don't get this pattern. You could definitely get this pattern for later on for when you acquire some more sewing skills. All right. But I would say get it now, sew it later. That's the name of the game right now with everything that's been going on with all the pattern brands. Okay. Well, let me rephrase that with the big five. Okay. If you know, you know. Everyone's been kind of talking about it, all right? Yes, I know. I have not done any videos on it, but yes, I do know. Moving on, all right? All right, next pattern, 2134. All right, so 2134 is a Mrs. Petite top with sleeve variation. Y'all know this reminds me of something because I did a sew along for this one, all right? Now, this one is a stylish top with a sleek funnel neckline, darts for shaping, and a back zipper closure. You could choose between your short sleeves or your long sleeve, or you could definitely try like that barrel sleeve that's going on in view B. It also features some top stitching. Now, for me, I have a pattern that's very similar to this, but I do not have the barrel sleeve that view B is showing. It doesn't have a barrel sleeve, but I could definitely see myself taking the pattern that I'm going to show you and making it barrel sleeve. We'll get there. I think I can do that. All right. So some of the fabric suggestions for this one is cotton blends, denim, faux leather, just to name a few. You will need some lining fabric, but if you're using cotton, I would not say line this, okay? If you're using denim, I wouldn't say line this, but line it as you choose. You know, do what you do. Interfacing, you're going to need some lightweight fusible interfacing. It is an average to sew pattern. 2 pattern envelopes, 6 to 14, and 16 to 24 on the second pattern envelope. Okay, now let's talk about it. This pattern reminds me of 2 patterns for sure, but here's the thing. I like this pattern, but it is super high neck. I like it, but I don't like something that's going to choke me. Okay, so I'm on the fence with this pattern, but I do have a pattern that's similar. And to be honest, I do not wear the top very often. Since making it and doing a sew along for it, I have worn that top probably about 4 times. And I made this top, I want to say 2022 or 2023, one of them. But I will definitely link to the sew along in the description box below if you're interested in that sew along for sure. Now, let's get into the notions for this pattern. So the notions for this pattern, you will need one 26-inch separating zipper, and then for view B, some top stitching thread. Now, here's the thing. When they say top stitching thread, do you really need top stitching thread if you're using cotton fabric? I would not get some top stitching thread just to sew on cotton fabric. But you do what you do, okay? So first pattern that I'm going to show you that's very similar to this one is 1847, okay? So if you look at this one, it has that high neck for sure. And then it has poofy sleeves, all right? So it has that funnel neck top. It's fitted through the bust. It has the side front and the side back seams. It have the pleated puff sleeves like I just mentioned. This one is easy to sew, okay? I don't know how many pattern pieces, but I could pull that up if you need to know that. But it's very similar to this one. I mean, you could top stitch on this one too if you want all the top stitching as well. And by the way, this one is on sale, clearance, for $5, okay? You're welcome. All right. And the second pattern that I'm going to give you that it reminds me, this is the one that I did a complete sew along for. And this one is Simplicity 9705. All right. And with this one, right? This one is an easy to sew pattern. Okay. Now, with this easy to sew pattern, it has darted neckline and an invisible back zipper. It has longer, short gathered sleeves, which creates that slouchy effect. I love this top. It's just I don't wear it a lot because it is, very high on the neck. Just in my opinion, okay? So the view that I did this view what the model is wearing with that cutout in the back. Mine have that button. I did it in a red, and I will let you guys see. You could go to the sew along. I'm gonna show you guys the sew along right here. Time for a pattern review and a sew along. It's finally here. It is the first make as part of my Make 9. So this is the sew along right here that you guys could go to. It is $342. Just type in sew along beginners friendly fitted top Simplicity 9705. You could get there. But once again, it's 9705 for that pattern that is very similar. If you want the new pattern and you don't want to get the Simplicity pattern or the Vogue 1872, you could definitely get Vogue 2134. All right, let's move over to the next pattern for this one, which is 2135. Now, 2135 is a Mrs. Jacket by Julio Cesar. Okay, this is really cute and definitely want to get this jacket. It is a average to sew pattern, 2 pattern envelope, 6 to 14, and 16 to 24 on the second pattern envelope. Now, this is the line jacket pattern, which features front button closures, princess seams for a flattering fit, eye-catching contrast, as you can see on the collar and the pocket bands. And this one, what the model is wearing, is brocade. I have some brocade in my stash, y'all, that I've been wanting to use. So it may happen for me. It just may happen for me, y'all. All right. So some of the fabric suggestion would be your brocades, your tweeds, your wool blends, just to name a few. The contrast is faux leather. I don't have any of that. Short pell, faux fur, and some velvet. I might have to go with velvet for this one for contrast if I decide to do contrast, but I'm leaning more towards probably not doing it. Once again, it's an average to sew pattern. Now, I like how they styled this model. This model is looking nice, okay? I like that. I love this jacket. It is looking very, very nice, very, very chic, very, very cute. Yes, loving it. It is an average to sew pattern. Once again, for the notions, you're going to need 5, 7, 8-inch buttons, in and out, good to go. Y'all know I am a sucker for a jacket and a blazer. The jacket have to look good. The blazer have to fit good. All right. But once again, this pattern is 2135. I have said this before and I'll say it again. You can always add these patterns to your wish list like I am going to be doing. I'm not doing it on the screen, but I have already done it. I have all my list here, and all I'm going to do is add it to Vogue pattern. Voila. When the sale comes, all I do is go to my wish list. Voila. Just go ahead, go from my wish list to the cart, and then we just buy. Simple as that. Moving over to the next pattern. So the next pattern is 2136. And this pattern right here is a Mrs. Jacket with and without collar. Okay. Now, this is a line structured jacket. It's loose fitting through the bust and features extended shoulders, shoulder pads, and extra long 2-piece sleeves. Now, this one has the flat pockets, welt pockets, and 2 styling options. So view A have the peak lapel. Okay, as you can see, the peak lapel. And view B is collarless. Collarless, no collar. That's what that means. So some of the fabric suggestions would be your flannel, your gabardine, your linen, just to name a few. And you're also going to need some pocket lining, which could be your your cotton twill, just to name a few there. In terms of interfacing, you will need some lightweight interfacing. Now, Interlining is hair canvas. That's because you're going to do some build out. Now I have a complete sew along, okay, for some build out. Now, if you go to my channel, the pattern that I did that for was Simplicity 8844, I think is the pattern number. I believe that's the pattern number, but I will definitely look at my channel and share that with you on that complete tailored. It was a tailored jacket I did. So I will definitely, I think it was, yes, it was a tailored jacket that I did on my channel. I will share that video with you here in just a moment. But this is an advanced to sew pattern. I shared 2 pattern envelopes, 8 to 16 and 18 to 26 on the second pattern envelope. I am definitely picking up this pattern. You don't even have to even ask. Now, before you ask, Rochelle, are you going to be sewing this pattern? Are you going to be doing a sew along for it? I don't know. Sew alongs takes a very long time. Okay. So I don't know. I may and may not. I don't know. It's up in the air, but I will tell you that I will be doing this pattern for a blazer, a tailored blazer for work. Now, in terms of the notions for this one, you will need a pair of shoulder pads. Now, I just going to be honest, I do not do shoulder pads. I always do sleeve head, period. I make my own sleeve heads. I have tons of videos. If you go to a line jacket pattern, most of the time I do a sleeve head. If you are interested in knowing that, I will put that in the description box below. For you, so you could go to the videos that I show you how to literally draft the sleeve head. It's just a rectangle. I think I normally do like a 10 by 3, basically 10 inches wide, 3 inches tall, fold it in half, sew it together, put it on my, sleeve cap, and you're done. Okay. And you're also going to need 2 3/4 inch buttons for this one. I love this coat, okay? Like, come on, y'all. I love this coat. What can I say? Now, in regards to the video that I was talking about that I have a complete sew along for, it is a sew along for a tailored blazer, and that video is for Simplicity 8844. So if you go to YouTube, you could definitely see that I have that. It is from 3 years ago. It is a very highly watched video, just to be honest with you guys. And in that video, I literally share how to draft the build out. I also share how to put the entire sew along together as well. So I literally take the blazer, which is unlined, okay, draft the build out with some construction paper. I think I used like some, I can't remember what type of paper I use, but it's all in the description box for that, of the video. Is very detailed. I draft that out. I show you how to draft it out. And then this is hair canvas, what you are seeing on the screen right now. That white part is hair canvas. You cut it. It's all detailed in the video, how you cut it, how you put it together, how you sew it on, all of that good stuff. So very, 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 very detailed video of Simplicity 8844. I know many of you guys have hit me up and asked me if I could do another jacket, kind of walk through like that. If you have a jacket pattern that you would like for me to walk you through how to do a build out for a tailored jacket, I am going to have a community tab, and just tell me the pattern. I'm going to tell you this. Do not put Vogue, because I'm just going to ignore that you put Vogue, simply because everyone is not interested in Vogue patterns. Now, the only way that I would do it is probably a Simplicity pattern, a Butterick pattern, a McCall pattern, because those are basically the ones that most people want to make. All right. So I'm just telling you that FYI. All right. But you can definitely go to the video as you see up on the screen, Simplicity 8844, and you can definitely see that sew along. All right, but this pattern is Vogue 2136. Moving over to the next pattern, Vogue 2137. This one is a trench coat, and y'all know your girl love a good trench coat. Now, this one is an advanced to sew, and I know I can't remember the pattern number. I think it was another Vogue pattern, but my girl C from We See Style, she did this pattern. I can't think of the number right off the top of my head, but if I think of it by the time I'm done talking, I will definitely put it up on the screen. But she did she did this pattern for her, I think it was like Beyonce Cowgirl C, I think is what she called it. Very, very cute. For sure. Go to C's page, We See Style, here on YouTube, so you can see that for sure. Very, 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 very cute. Trench coat as well as she did it. She did a trench coat, I believe a vest and a pair of pants for sure. I'll put that up on the screen here in a second, but definitely go to her page so you can check her out. But this is Vogue 2137. It is a trench coat and belt pattern. It is double-breasted trench coat pattern, which features a traditional collar, pleated barrel sleeves, side pockets, back fit, and belt loops for matching belt, fabric belt. Now, this one you could do in cotton blends, which I wouldn't suggest doing it in a cotton blend because it wouldn't give you that structure that you are looking for, okay? You could also use gabardine, twill. Twill would work very good. Wool blend. I'm going to throw in denim for this one because I feel like you can use denim for this one as well. So, yeah, I think you could definitely, use whatever you want for this one. You can use some lining fabric, interfacing. You will need that. It is an advanced to sew pattern. So I will say that for this one, I would definitely say you might want to use the easy to sew pattern that C used. Check with C and see what pattern number. I can't think of the pattern number right off the top of my head. But check with C and see what pattern that she did for this one. Some kind of way, I want to say Vogue 9367. I don't know. Check with C. Check with C. And what I'll do is I'll figure it out and put it in the description box below because I think it's 9367 Vogue pattern, but I'm not 100% sure. But C did an amazing job on hers, so go hit C up, see what pattern number it is, but also check the description box below, and it might be there, okay? Before you hit her up. Don't hit her up before checking the description box below. You're welcome. All right, let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern. Oh, I told you guys, no, I did tell you guys what the notion. So in terms of notions for this one, you're going to need 5 7/8 inch buttons. You're also going to need a buckle with the prong, and you're going to need 5 eyelets for this one as well. All right. But once again, this pattern is 2137. Moving over to the next pattern, 2138. This is wrap pants. Now, this one kind of reminds me of Simplicity 9926, the pattern that I have a complete sew along for as well. Now, this one is full leg wrap pants, okay? Now, it includes front and back welt pockets, an invisible side seam zipper. View A has kind of like the fasteners or button closure, I should say. View B has hidden snap front, okay? Now, the fabric suggestion for this one is linen blends, medium weight crepe, wool flannel, just to name a few. You're going to need some lining fabric, but I don't know where you're going to need some lining fabric for, just to be honest. Fusible interfacing for this one. It is average to sew. 2 pattern envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on the second pattern envelope. So I like this one for sure. The only thing about this is I don't know if I would like the wrap in the front. I don't know. I'm on the fence on this one. It's 2138. I like it, but I can't say that I'm going to buy it at this moment because with the price points right now at $6.99, I don't know. I'm on the fence. We'll see. But the notions that you're going to need for this, for view A and view B, you're going to need a 7-inch invisible zipper and a hook and eye closure. For view A, you're also going to need some buttons. And view B, you're going to need some snaps. All right. So pay attention to the back of the pattern envelope. All right, but this one didn't remind me of anything, so let's go ahead and move over to the next pattern, shall we? All right, so next one is 2139. It's a lingerie dress. Now, this one definitely reminds me of several patterns, okay? And we'll get there. So let's start with this being an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, two pattern envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on the second pattern envelope. It's an elegant floor length lingerie dress that features gathers detailing at the bodice and the skirt, spaghetti straps. It also have an invisible zipper closure. And then view B have the scallop lace trim for a classic look. I like this one, but I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to buy it. All right. I'm going to leave this one on the shelf. Reason being is because the patterns that's very similar. Like, first of all, a lingerie dress that I have to put a zipper in, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good on that. It's very cute. Now, I will say this thing right here is very, very cute. But I have lots of patterns that's super similar to this. And when I show you the patterns, you will see why. So let's talk about the notions for this one. Notion you will need is a 9-inch invisible zipper. Now, think about it. You're going to be using chiffon, georgette, lightweight wovens. I mean, like, you could use some wovens, but a lingerie dress and some cotton fabric, I don't know about that. But yeah, I mean, like, you could use some crepes. I could see that. But whatever. The contrast for view B, you will need some scallop fabric for that one, just to name a few. But the notions, you're going to need a 9-inch invisible zipper. And then view B, you're going to need some scallop lace trim. Just so you know that. All right. So in terms of what this pattern reminds me of. First pattern, Vogue 7387. Write it down if you are interested in this pattern. It's very similar to this pattern. The only difference is this is an elegant, like, special occasion fabric, okay? Or not fabric, but pattern, all right? So that's the first pattern that it reminds me of. Next pattern it reminds me of is Vogue 7365. Come on, y'all. Y'all don't see that? This is cute. This is gorgeous. This is screaming, yes, ma'am. Okay? Like, I like this pattern. It's Vogue 7365. And the other pattern that it reminds me of, y'all know I have mentioned this pattern several times, okay? So this one is Vogue 8814 custom fit. It also have, separate cut sizes for this one. Come on, y'all. Y'all don't see that. I like this one better than I like, the new Vogue pattern. I would stick with Vogue 8814. But, of course, Vogue 2139 is super cute. But I think for me, I would stick with Vogue 8814. Just my opinion. All right. But let's move over to the next pattern. Next pattern is 2140. So 2140 is a tunic with sleeve variations and pants. Now this is a two-piece set, which includes a loose fitting bias cut tunic with pointed collar, front split opening with ties, and sleeve variation. Now view A are your short sleeves. View B is the extra long sleeve with the cuffs on it. And the cuffs have ties, just so you know. I like that because I did a sew along for a pattern similar to this. It was a simplicity pattern. I think if I remember correctly, it was simplicity 9744, I think is the pattern number. Yeah, I think it's 9744. I'll put it up on the screen here in a second because y'all be asking me like, yo, Rochelle, what was that pattern number? I'll put it up on the screen here in a second. But this pattern is paired with semi-fitted bias cut bell bottom pants, which features a back invisible zipper and hook and eye closure. Now, this pattern, what you see in the photo is crepe fabric is what they use for this one. The fabric suggestions would be your chiffon, georgette, lace, lawn, novelty shears, just to name a few. they claim you're going to need some lining fabric. I don't know where you're going to line it at, but to each its own. You're going to need some interfacing. This is an average sew pattern. In terms of sizing, two pattern envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on the second pattern envelope. Now let's talk about the notions you're going to use. You're only going to need a 7-inch invisible zipper, and that's for the pants, and a hook and eye closure. So for the top, A and B, it is what? Let me hear it, y'all. A no notion pattern. Yes, a no notion pattern. Okay? You're welcome. Now, in regards to view B, I did say it reminds me of another pattern. And that pattern I did a sew along for. And that pattern is Simplicity 9744. I have a complete sew along for this pattern, as you see up on the screen. Complete. And it talks about those ties. And those ties are amazing. Okay. So I love this dress that I made. You could see the complete full detail sew along, and it has photos as well. All right. So once again, this one that's similar to Simplicity 9744, but this pattern is Vogue 2140. Let's move over to the next pattern. Next up, man's pattern. I'm not going to get too far into these man's patterns, but it's 2141, which is a men's lines jacket. Now, this one is basically a men's jacket. It has the two-piece raglan sleeve, the full lined interior, front inseam pockets for the men. Yeah, I mean, this one's cute, but I'm not going to get it, to be honest. So in the photos, they are wearing wool blend tweed. For this one, some of the fabric suggestions will be your flannel, gabardine, linen blend, men's suiting, just to name a few. You will need some lining fabric, and you will need some hair canvas for that build out, like I mentioned before. Okay. Now, let's get into the notions real quick for this pattern. In terms of the notions, you're optional for sure. You will need shoulder pads or a pair of sleeve heads, 3 hook and eye closure. That's it. No zippers, no snaps, but it don't wrap, okay? But you will need a little bit of notion for this one. But moving over to the next pattern. Next up is 2142. This is a men's shirt and pants pattern. Now, this one I'm not going to pick up, but this one features the drop shoulders, relaxed fit shirt with the shoulder yoke, front slash pocket, and long sleeves with the button cuffs. For the pants, they are straight leg pants, I should say. Classic front zipper and button closure, adjustable slides at the waist as well, and back welt pockets, okay? So in the photo, what you're seeing, the gentleman is wearing stretch wool suiting for this one. In terms of the fabric suggestions, you can use corduroy, cotton blends, denim, linen blends, just to name a few. There, you will need some, I don't know why they say lining fabric, but where in the heck you're going to line this at, but to each its own. You're going to need interfacing for this one as well. I like this pattern, but I'm going to leave it on the shelf because, let's be honest, I have tons of button-down shirt patterns. I have plenty of pant patterns, and my husband is not going to wear this, okay? So I'm going to leave it on the shelf. You know, if my husband was one who, you know, is picky, and nah, he is a casual wear type of guy. Unless he has to get dressed up for something, he is going to wear casual, okay? He doesn't typically wear button-down shirts in his line of work. He's an IT guy. Most of them do not wear button-down shirt, but polo shirts all day, baby, all day, like AD, all day, baby, all day. All right. But let's get into the notion. In terms of notions, view A, you're going to need 13 5/8 inch buttons. View B, you're going to need a 7-inch all-purpose or exposed zipper. Do not use a invisible zipper. Okay? Do not. All right? But let's go ahead and get into these last couple of patterns, y'all. And I thank you guys so much for hanging with me because we almost been here for an hour. So thank you guys so much for hanging with me. We only have 5 more patterns left. All right, let's get into the next one because I'm trying to speed this up, but I'm trying to give you all the information and the news that you can use on this Vogue drop. All right, so next up, 2143. And y'all know this is DVF's pattern. All right, so this is a 1970s from the Vogue pattern. It is basically a very easy Vogue pattern. Now, here's the thing. This is not a wrap dress. And y'all know DVF is known for the wrap dress, but this one, she gotcha with the pullover dress, right? So this one comes in two different options. Basically, it's the same dress, but a length variation on that skirt. The pullover dress comes in 3 inches below the mid knee or the evening length. What you are seeing in this one, like I said, it's just a skirt variation for this one. For this one, it features the close-fitting bodice, the flared skirt, pointed collar with cut-in one band, the front button closure band, full-length sleeves that can be worn pushed up to the 3/4 length. It also have an elastic waist casing, top stitch trim, and a self tie belt for this one. All right, so it's basically a vintage reproduction pattern. I like this one, and I will be picking this one up for sure. Now, I'm just going to be real with you guys. I don't have every last DVF pattern only because I don't need every last wrap dress. I do like them. However, I did not pick every last one of them up that they dropped. I did pick up the Vogue 2000, and there has been like 1 or 2 other ones that I picked up, but I'm going to pick this one up because I actually like this pattern. All right. But in terms of notions, you're going to need 4 1/2-inch buttons and some seam binding. Don't forget, you're going to need elastic for that waist. All right. But once again, it's 2143 average to sew pattern. And it also features 2 pattern envelopes, 8-16 and 18-26 on the second pattern envelope. Once again, it's 2143. Next pattern is 2144. Now this one, the rest of them, I believe, are all vintage patterns. This one is from the Vogue again, or reissue, I should say. 1960s Mrs. Vintage drape dress and belt. Now this one is basically features a slim skirt. It's a dress that features a slim skirt with a drape overskirt joining the bodice at the waist. Okay. Now, of course, this reminds me of a simplicity pattern. I can't think of the number at the moment, but if I think of it or you can, make sure you drop it in the description box below. It reminds me of a simplicity pattern, but also a butterick pattern as well. Can't think of the number. But anyway, this one have many sleeve variations. You can do sleeveless, you can do short sleeve, you can do below the elbow. It's up to you. In terms of fabric options, crepe, lightweight woolen, linen, shantung, just to name a few there. You will need some interfacing for this one. This is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, 2 pattern envelopes, 8-16 on the first one and 18-26 on the second pattern envelope. In terms of notions for all views, you're going to need a 14-inch invisible zipper, some ribbon seam binding for this one, and some ribbons for the inside belt for hook and eye closures as well. All right. But once again, it's 2144. Moving over to the next one, 2145. Once again, a 1970s Mrs. Vintage lined wrap coat and belt. I like this one, but I don't need this pattern for sure. But this pattern is a flared wrap coat pattern, features a fitted bodice, full length raglan sleeves, and a choice of 4 lengths. Now, you could choose between a cozy hood or a shawl collar. It's finished with a self-tie belt and optional top stitching if you want that detail for that. Some of the fabric options would be your corduroy, your flannel, your fleece, gabardine, knits, just to name a few there. You will need some lining fabric for this one. They mentioned underlining, but of course I do have the pattern instructions, which I will share with you guys in, like a quick intro video prior to this one. So make sure you go to that one first, or you can see it after this video. All right. So, and then on top of that, you will need some underlining like your broadcloth or muslin for that one. This is an easy to sew pattern in terms of sizing. 2 pattern envelopes, 8-16 and 18-26 on the second pattern envelope. All right. In terms of notions, all views, okay? For all views, all you need is ribbon, which you could skip. So I'm going to say this is a no notion pattern. However, for view B and D, they mentioned buttonhole twist thread. But I'm going to be honest. You could close it with just the belt, okay? So I'm going to say this is a no notion pattern. Pick it up because I don't need this pattern, but I will definitely be picking it up. If you know, you know. All right, shut your mouth. If you be like, Rochelle, line wrap coat, you gonna really buy this pattern? Hey, mind your business. All right, moving over to the next pattern, 2146. 2146, 1970s Mrs. Vintage dress. Okay, I like this one, but I'm not going to pick this one up. It's in 2 lengths and some shorts. I like the shorts, but something's telling me it's not size inclusive, but we're going to get there. Let's just check. Oh, it is size inclusive. This is an average to sew pattern, 2 pattern envelopes, 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. Now, this is a 1978 dress and short pattern, 70s style pattern that includes a front button shirt dress at 2 inches below the knees or the evening length option with a center back bodice, inverted pleats, shaped collar, and full length sleeve, which have the button and button cuffs, right? The cuffs and the button cuffs, I should say. I can't even think today. But anyway, it has optional patch pockets, button accents, and purchase belt, just to name a few. Now, some of the fabric suggestions for this one would be your batiste, broadcloth, challis, crepe, linen, just to name a few there. You can use some satin fabric as well. Now, for this one, in terms of notions, of course, you know you're going to need some buttons, right? You're going to need 13 buttons for view A, 11 for view C. You're also going to need hook and eye closure if you are doing view B. And then for the shorts, you're going to need a 7-inch invisible zipper for the shorts or skirt zipper. And 3 hook and eye closures for this one. All right. But once again, this pattern is 2146. And the last pattern is 2127. Y'all, I'm going to pick this pattern up. Okay. All right. It's a Mrs. 2-piece dress. It is an average to sew pattern. In terms of sizing, it's 2 pattern envelopes, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24 on the second pattern envelope there. Okay. This is the loose fitting blouse and a pull-on tier maxi skirt. The blouse features long raglan sleeves with button cuffs, a shaped hem, and 2 stylish variations. Now, view A features a pussy bow neck, which I like, by the way, but it also reminds me of Simplicity 19, I think it's 1940. It was one. I'll put it in the description box below once I think that's the pattern number, but y'all, these pattern numbers start getting, difficult when it's so many patterns in your brain, okay? I think it may not be 1940. It's something. Okay, but anyway, once I think of it, I'll put it in the description box below because it's either 1939, 1950 something. I'll put it in the description box below because it's very similar to this pattern. But anyway, moving along with that. View B is a stand collar and tie and purchase trim. The skirt is fully lined and offers trim variations. All right. Now, in terms of fabric, you can use charmeuse, you can use georgette, you can use lawn. Just to name a few, you can use some silk chiffon as well. In terms of the notions, like I love this, y'all. So love this. But let's talk about the notions. All right, so the notions is for view A and view B, 15 cover buttons, view B, the lace trim, and then you have the elastic at the skirt. Why do I feel like I've seen this pattern already? Yeah, to each his own. But in terms of what this pattern reminds me of for view A, it reminds me of, the pattern number was absolutely wrong, 2068. That view A, it's very, very similar. So I just wanted to share that with you as well. But this pattern is 2127. All right. So those are all of the Vogue patterns this season. I am curious to know which one was your favorite. Comment in the comment section below and let me know which one were your favorite. Also, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I drop a video. Stay tuned for my next video, as I'm going to be sharing 10 habits with you that changed my life, and how these habits could damn sure well help you too. Okay? That's how I'm proficient and I can get things done. These are 10 tips that's going to help you dropping very, very soon. And also, one last thing, go over to the video that complements this, and it will show you how many pattern pieces for this video. Okay? Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Until next time, keep sewing.